I'm Suzanne Shaw from Canine Etiquette, and we're here today to talk to you about different ways to entertain your dog during the cold winter months. As the days get shorter and colder, most of us don't want to be out for our nice long hike or a brisk walk around the neighborhood. But our dogs still need to burn their energy. So we need to find different ways that we can get them to burn the same amount of energy so that they don't become stir crazy during the cold weather. It also will help prevent anxiety problems, such as destructive behaviors or inappropriate barking. The first thing we're going to talk about is having your dog carry a backpack. This still requires you to take your dog for a walk, but it helps burn a lot more energy more efficiently. So Hannah carries a backpack, and she walks about 40 minutes a day with her backpack on, and it tires her out pretty much sufficiently. A normal walk for Hannah would be about 2 hours. So this works on cutting back the amount of time that you need to walk your dog. You do have to put weights inside of the backpack. I recommend 10 to 20% of the body weight. It's very easy to do. There's little pouches on each side of the backpack, and I just put ankle weights inside. If you have trouble putting on the backpack, you can talk to me about different ways to do that. The next easiest way to burn your dog's energy is by allowing them to sniff. An average human has 5 million scent receiving receptors in their nose. A dog has 200 to 300 million. They also have a specific organ which helps them take in scent without washing it out with saliva. This is why a scent-trained dog can smell a fingernail sealed in a jar buried 4 feet under the ground. So, there are many different ways your dog can benefit from sniffing. One, if you only have 10 minutes to walk your dog, it's much more efficient and burns more energy for them to actually let them smell the ground wherever they please for 10 minutes than to actually walk for 10 minutes. Because when they're smelling the ground, they're learning all sorts of things. Which types of animals passed there, what type of sex they were, where they are in their dominant status, what type of mood they were in today, how old they were, and even more. So, to let them smell the ground is much more beneficial to them than to actually walk them for 10 minutes. The other way that you can use smell to your advantage is by using interactive toys that involve scent. The first one we'll discuss is called the Waggle. This toy is made of a hard purple rubber and has holes in each end. You would put a couple treats in each end of the toy. The dog will push the toy around, chew on it, and get a couple treats out at a time. This toy actually works fairly well. It's fairly difficult. It takes a long time for the dog to get the food out. So if they're very highly food motivated, this is very beneficial. The next interactive toy we're going to talk about is the Kong. This is a hard rubber toy with a big hole in the end of it. You can either stick a large cookie inside that the dog will chew and try and crunch out, or you can fill it up with wet food or peanut butter and freeze it. I find that wet food lasts the longest if you freeze it. It gets very hard, and the toy itself gets hard, which makes it hard to chew. toys that we can talk about that release the dog's scavenging needs. These toys are meant to help the dog search for their food, which is a natural instinct, and then also slows them down and makes them think. There are several different versions of this toy. There's this one where you would put dry kibble inside and they roll it around and a couple pieces fall out at the time. This toy actually serves a dual purpose. There's a dental treat that goes inside here that actually they can work on chewing as well. This is called a Busybuddy. It is dishwasher safe, and it's also a thick purple rubber, so it's pretty much solid. This toy opens up completely, which makes it convenient. You just put the food in the bottom and then screw it back together. And there's two little holes on each side that you line up, and then the dog tilts it back and forth, and a couple pieces fall out at a time. There is also the molecule ball, which is an odd shape, and when you put the food inside, it goes into different compartments. There's also a ridge on the top, which helps prevent the food from falling out. And the dog can either push it with their nose, or it can hit it with their paw, and a couple pieces will fall out at a time. And the last one is a hard plastic ball. It's like a puzzle inside. You can see Hannah gets very excited about her feeder balls. You dump all the kibble in and then put the plug inside. And depending on which way you turn the plug, more or less food falls out at a time. I actually feed my dogs this way every morning and sometimes every night. And I will say it does make a huge difference in their energy level. So the last ones that we talked about are more to feed them and not for a toy, although it could be used as a toy. So that's a good way to let your dog use scent to burn their natural energy.